go ahead and get the homework out of the way. We're going to be doing 1 through 19, then 21, 22, and 31. All right, we see that the first one requires me to get x by itself. To solve my inequality, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. After I add 4 to both sides, I realize that I'm going to have -5 plus 4. When my signs are different, I find the difference. I'm going to take the big number minus the small number. That'll give me 1, then I keep the sign of the big number. I know x now is smaller than -1. On my number line, I'll make an open circle because there's no line showing it's equal, and point to all the numbers that are going to the left of the number line since it's less than. You have number 2 to do. Number 3 requires me to add 1 to both sides. This is 6 plus 1, it gives me 7. So 7 is going to be bigger than or equal to m. Since it can be equal to it, I'm going to make a dot instead of a circle. Since the 7 is bigger than m, that means that m is smaller than 7. So I have 7 here. I'll point to all the numbers that are smaller than 7. All right? If ever you get confused, always put the variable in front. You see over here? And then follow the arrow. The arrow is pointing this way. It goes this way. But that only works when your variable is in front. Number 4 is for you to do. Next to number 5, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. When I do, 5 minus 4 is 1. R has to be less than 1. I'll make an open circle since there's no line there, right? And then all the numbers less than 1. Number 6 is yours. Number 7, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 9 from both sides. When I do this, I got different signs. I'll take the big number minus the small number. 9 minus 7 is 2. Keep the sign of the big number. So I know W will be bigger than -2. Notice the W's on this side, so I'll follow the arrow pointing this direction, right? And that's also going to be an open circle since it's not equal to it. Number 8 is for you to do. Number 9 is going to require me to multiply negative times a negative. That's going to be a +2, and that's going to require me to go ahead and then see +2, and then I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, and 10 minus 2 is 8. So h is going to be bigger than or equal to 8. I'll shade in my dot since I have a line here, and since it's bigger than 8, I'll shade in all the numbers bigger than 8. Number 10 is for you to do. Number 11 is mine. I'm going to have to subtract 1.7 from both sides. When I do this, I see I have 2 negatives. That means when my signs are the same, I add. 1 plus 7 is 8. 2 plus 1 is 3. I keep the sign in front, and j has to be less than -3/8. So all the numbers that are less than -3.8. It doesn't include it because it's not equal to it. All right, let's move on. Number 12 is yours to do. Number 13 is going to require me to add 2/5 to both sides. Luckily, my denominator is the same. So I'm going to have a -4 plus 2. When my signs are different, I subtract 4 minus 2 is 2. And then I keep the sign of the big number. 4 is bigger, so I'll keep the negative in front. That means -2/5 is greater than p. I could go ahead and write this the other way. So I can follow my arrow and make this p is less than or equal to, I got to turn that around, -2/5. And now I can follow my arrow. Arrow's pointing this way, so my line will go this way. It's going to be equal to it, so I shade in my dot. All right, let's go ahead and do number 15, a number +8. So some number +8 is greater than 11. So n plus 8 is bigger than 11. N plus 8 bigger than 11. Now I got to solve it. I got to get n by itself, so the opposite of +8 is -8. Whatever I take from one side, I take from the other. 11 minus 8 is 3, so n is going to be greater than 3. So the inequality is n plus 8 is greater than 11, and the solution is n is greater than 3. All right? I believe number 16 is yours. That makes number 17 is mine. The difference of a number and 9 is fewer than 4. Remember, the difference means subtraction. So I'm going to have a number -9, and then I'm going to make it less than, right, fewer than 4. When I go to solve this, I'll need to add 9 to both sides. 4 plus 9 is 13, so n has to be less than 13. 18 is for you to do. 19 says a Tampa Bay player has 59 goals so far. What are the possible numbers of additional goals the player can score to break the NHL record of 92 goals? Well, remember, he has 52. We're going to add however many goals he needs to be, and it says break the record, right? So that means it has to be bigger than 92. Well, we're going to subtract 59 from both sides. 92 minus 59 is 33, which means the goal has to be, his goal has to be greater than 33. He'll have to make more than 33 goals. All right, let's go to number 21 is mine. You'll have 22. It says, describe and correct the error and solve the inequality and graphing. Well, let's see what they did wrong here. On this one, they were supposed to add 10 to both sides. And if you add 10 to this side, you have to add 10 to this side. It doesn't look like they did that, right? You add 10 to both sides, and 10 minus 9 is 1. And that's where they would have got x is greater than or equal to 1. I would have shaded in my dot because it's equal to it as well, and shaded in there all the lines going bigger than 1. All right, you guys have number 22 to do. Number 31 says, which of the following inequalities are equivalent to the inequality x minus b is less than 3, where b is the constant? Select all that apply. All right, remember, it says which of the following inequalities are equivalent to this inequality, all right? If it's equivalent, it means it's going to come up to the same, right? So let's see, if I was to go ahead and get b by itself, okay, on this one, I could take -3, right? Minus 3 from this side, which means I had minus 3 from this side. So I'd have x minus b minus 3. That kind of works. Let's go for this one. On this one, I could move both of these over here. That would make this a negative x to get rid of it, and a positive b to get rid of it. And then be adding on to 3. That kind of works as well. Over here, I could go ahead and get this negative b away by adding b to both sides, but that's not what happened here, right? This one is subtracting b. So C doesn't really work. And then D, I see that to get -3 over here, I would have to -3 here and then -3 here. And then I'd have to take these, because with the symbols stay the same, and bring them over here, which make this a negative x and a positive b. So A, by the subtraction property, you can subtract 3 from each side, yep. And then, let's see, and then D, all right, by the addition property. Okay, so what happened over here that B didn't work? And I'm just going to double check my work here. For B, notice the symbols in the other direction, okay? Now, to turn this in the other direction means this would have to come to this side, this would have to come to this side, and that didn't happen. Because if it did, then this would have been a 3, and I would have to subtract 3. By the time it came over here, it would have been -3. So that was something I did not see at the beginning. I overlooked it. So B is removed as one of the possible answers, and D are the only possible correct solutions. All right, looks like we made short work of that homework. You guys will have the rest of it to work out in class. I'll see you in there for grading. Have a great night.